Murderers! Assassins!
Assassins! Oh no.
That's
We
right.
detonated.
Let's get this going and bring me in here.
Where's Dave? There he is.
Hey, everybody. Star Trek, the original series, Season 1, Episode 28, The City on the Edge of Forever, is over and has been since 1967. But we're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast, talking about the original series in our weekly original series revisit podcast. We're joined here with my dad, Ted, and joining here on the same camera, Jeff, but sort of frozen. We also have here in studio with me, Jody Simpson, one of the first in-studio guests here on Live Long and Podcast.
I am honored.
Yes, very
I hope there will be a plaque erected for me later.
And we have two very special guests coming to us from the backyard. We have Karen Rondeau and Adam Woodward. Welcome.
We're neighbors. We're neighbors. That's Adam's house back there.
Okay.
Excellent.
Good.
I might drop by on that pool later.
Absolutely.
Looks refreshing.
Yes, we kept him awake many nights when I've been down there.
Never.
That's so true.
Jeff looks like he just woke up.
He looks like he's, like it's like a photo
Yeah, he's
out of Jeff or
yeah,
something.
It looks like a student ID card.
I was taking.
Assassins!
I took a post-work nap, as a postman needs to do.
Well, you do burn off a lot of energy. So I'd imagine,
Assassins!
You! What planet is this?
All right, so we're here to talk about The City on the Edge of Forever, a personal favorite of mine. But we're here to go around the panel and maybe see if there's if this is as well received as it's remembered. Now, this is considered by many to be their favorite episode of the original series. I consider myself maybe to be among those. I think Mirror Mirror maybe slightly outweighs this one for me. But we're gonna go around. Hey, and Jody,
Yes.
we kind of already chatted, so I don't want to bury the lead, but.
yeah.
You're not necessarily as sold on this episode.
No,
so
I'm not.
Maybe we want to temper our enthusiasm.
I think the love for this episode comes by having Joan Collins in it. That's it.
And William Shatner being charming. He was charming. He was so charming.
I'm not a girl, even though I may have a girl's name.
Adam, what do you think of this episode?
This is one of my top favorites. Top 5 for sure. And, as a kid, I remember them leaping through the arch, and just that memory of that. And I watched it again yesterday just to get back into it. The portal.
Guardian of Forever.
Loved it. I love that Captain Kirk was emotional, was almost didn't make the right call. You could see a challenge with it. So it was interesting there. And then, even Spock's concern, oh geez, he kissed her, and he walks back into the bedroom.
Yeah.
Edith Keeler must die.
Edith Keeler must die is the whole premise of this episode and the big moral quandary, because they get quite the budding romance going.
I was happy when Edith Keeler died.
Edith Keeler went?
Yes.
Okay,
I was okay with it.
Dad and Jeff, we haven't heard from you yet. So let's Dad first. The City on the Edge of Forever. Is this one of your personal favorites as well, or are you more of a in the middle or a detractor? Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a classic. It's a classic. Although that they go to that planet, but it's funny that it doesn't seem like they ever warned anybody about this place. Go back and change history and eliminate. Like, if the Klingons could ever get this, they could eliminate the Federation by going through this, right?
Yeah, right. You just
So it's a
you can
dangerous
eliminate the
place,
Federation
that
by
planet.
accident.
Well, they almost made the Federation German.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is also the second episode they did that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is a
You know, it's funny, I
reoccurring
was just
theme
playing,
because they
some
needed the sets.
Star Trek Online. I was playing some Star Trek Online, and there's a mission that you can do that I don't know if it's new, but it seems like it's new. But they take you to that same planet where this episode they go through the portals, and but they somehow incorporated the Discovery crew and also 7 of 9.
Yes.
So it's a big smorgasbord. of like Picard, Discovery, and the original series.
Right.
And I don't know if you
Trying
played
to,
that mission, Dave, but
I have played that mission. No, I was like, why is Michael Burnham here? Why is she ruining my Star Trek Online experience? But that's a whole other matter.
Why are we nerding it up here?
Yeah, I know. He just asked me a question.
And then there's a Michael Burnham like angel. There's like a red angel.
Yeah, I don't need to bring up this pain right now.
Is about the
I'd
episode,
rather focus on this episode.
I just played it today.
Yeah, no, I played it like a couple weeks ago or whatever. It is
about this episode though.
What a bunch of nerds!
It's about the Guardian of Forever, which is like this time traveling machine computer thing that looks like a big stone archway, and that's the whole thing of it. So the episode starts with them being drawn to this planet. I guess this temporal radiation, something or other.
Ripples in time.
Ripples in time.
Ripples in time. They're following the ripples, and
Yes.
it's a hazardous flight. I'm led to believe. Things are going back and forth.
We're all doing it now.
Am I doing it?
No, you weren't doing it. That's why you screwed up the effect.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, because I'm kind of looking at you.
This may be the last time I'm allowed in the command center.
Yeah, I was just saying was that the ripples in time, and then it's a rough ride. The controls are exploding. Sulu gets injured, and so the doctor risks a few drops of cordrazine. It's touchy stuff.
Apparently,
2 drops.
Only 2.
But the ship gets shaken again a few moments later, and McCoy accidentally injects himself with the entire syringe of cordrazine.
He just goes like
and he
all
goes
out
into,
on there.
My favorite version of McCoy, the madman McCoy, like just
McCoy is the star of this episode for sure.
Assassins!
Yeah, and he's just like, I don't know how he manages to get off that bridge. Like so many times, like McCoy is uncontainable in this episode.
Yeah, like they got like security and everything on this damn ship, but yet they can't get one doctor. Come on.
Yeah, and
he's hopped up on roids or something, but still, like,
couldn't they
just one guy just stun his ass and move on. Like, what's the problem here? This episode would have been only 5 minutes if they contained everything.
What's that, Adam?
I just said I couldn't understand why they just couldn't say freeze the turbo levels, stop the train.
Yeah, like exactly. I agree completely with Adam here. Like,
beam him up.
Well, Adam, we have this saying on this podcast, which is it's called the Star Trek. What is it?
It moves at
the coincidence.
It's coincidence or
coincidental Star Trek, and that's really what it is.
Yes.
There's another big one in this episode later on, where McCoy just happens to show up at the exact same bloody place that the other two are already there.
They were drawn to on the tides of time.
Oh, I'm sure they were. Yeah.
Those ripples in times, they're funny.
He's all roiding up. He's not affected by the ripples of time.
Yeah, like I'd say, like okay, like as a purely science fiction story, I don't know if this
boring.
Adds up, but we'll get to that. But like from a science,
this is a chick episode for sure.
A fantasy story, it really does.
And I don't mean offense to that. I'm just saying this is an episode for the ladies.
Women enjoy seeing James.
No, I liked it.
Wonderful.
James.
I stand by my original point there, Ted.
She calls him James.
I had a question, Dave. I have a question. When McCoy escaped to the transporter room, what was that movie used to knock out that transporter guy? Well, I never seen him hit a guy like in the lower, like almost in his ass.
It was like a chop kind of thing, eh?
It was like a judo chop of sorts.
Usually you whack him across the head or something. Nope.
McCoy's just a badass. That's all it is. You roid him up and he's just all nuts.
Can you show us a replay of that, Dave?
I can. Hold on.
Do we have that?
Yeah, we got it. We'll take a moment.
Wait.
I just don't.
Please don't sue us. Please don't sue. Everybody please don't
shot
sue.
that once and they said, okay, we got it.
Was that move ever used in another Star Trek?
No.
No?
I can't recall.
The director would be like,
hit
him in his ass.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Oh, look at McCoy, eh?
Yeah, they can't see that.
That makeup job is just immense.
It's amazing. It was not a good look for him.
No, and like he's surprised that nobody wants to talk to him. It's like you look like like some sort of plague that's walking. Like, why would anybody talk to you?
And I think that he could have used a little teeth whitening as well.
Wouldn't hurt.
There was an episode a few weeks ago that we were watching with Scotty, and like James Doohan just had all these like smoker stains.
Oh yeah.
You're just like,
apparently cigarettes are still obtainable in the 24th century or 23rd century.
So here, I'll bring in this this judo chop here.
Bring it in. Don't sue. Bring it in. There we go.
Are we full screen on that yet?
We're getting there. Yeah.
And
there we go. We got her.
We got her.
You gotta hit play though.
Permanent or temporary, or in what direction it will drive McCoy.
Here he goes.
Oh, look at him. Crazy eyes. Oh, here it comes.
Oh, look at his eyes.
Here it comes. And judo chop. Amazing. Judo chop.
Right, and that's when he takes the phaser that will later the guy who drops the milk later vaporizes himself with that phaser. But
yes.
But I was like, why did McCoy have a phaser with him? But I guess that's where he gets it.
Well, he got it from that guy.
That guy dying didn't change the past.
No, that's true.
He thought they were coming after him.
The guy with the milk, completely insignificant.
Yeah, his life.
He did nothing with his life, so it was okay.
Yeah, there was no difference.
He dropped the milk. That's the milk will forever be changed.
Yes. Yeah, but like that move
the other
there.
thing is, how did McCoy know where transporting to? Because no one said.
Just that he had
this madness in outer space.
Yeah.
Star Trek convenience. That's what it is.
They were already at the planet.
Oh.
Yeah, but he happened to drop like right where. Basically, where Edith, what's her name is,
like everything that can go wrong does go wrong very quickly.
Oh yeah,
like
it's a shit show from the minute.
They're being drawn to this time machine. Okay, fine, but like then Sula gets hurt, but then they have to use cordrazine, but then he injects himself with cordrazine, but he just happens to beam down to the exact spot on the planet where the time machine is, and he just happens to jump through the time machine. A few minutes after this. Yeah. And so Kirk's having a bad day.
It is a bad day. Let's be honest.
First or second commercial break here.
Yeah, like he got to the second commercial and he's like, "Fuck, I'm done. Like I don't even want to do this." And then he meets Joan Collins, and then he's like, "Joan Collins, I want to jump on you." And that's pretty much the summary of the entire episode. Right there.
And like the whole first part of the whole first part of this episode is just a moment trying to get McCoy, and then they find the Guardian of Forever while McCoy's hiding behind rocks and whatever, and they have like this conversation with the Guardian of Forever.
Yeah,
I am neither being nor.
You do a pretty good voice for him.
Guardian of Forever.
You do.
I am.
It's not bad.
Since your son has whatever, I don't know the lines, but the Guardian of Forever.
We can do that when they do the.
Because Spock asks a question. He's like, I've just waited for somebody to be asking me a question for so long. I'm so excited.
He was bored.
But this really, like, to me, this still holds up all of this stuff. Like, Harlan Ellison wrote this script, and I think that, like, if you maybe don't like the love story, but I just think that as an iconic Star Trek episode, this has to stand out.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's a bad episode. Like, it's not like it's garbage or anything like that fucking space hippie episode. But that's brutal. Adam, you can agree to me on that, right?
The Way to Eden.
You ever see that?
Way to Eden? Yes, I've seen Way to Eden. That's not one of my top 5.
The space hippie episode is offensive.
It is offensive. It's offensive. Like, I can't believe women even watch it. Like, they should be like up in arms about it. It's brutal. But anyway, that's another discussion for another time, which happened to be a couple of weeks ago. But it's not like it's a terrible episode. It's just
this episode's. I think it's a.
See, there's a delay on him, so every time he interrupts me, I stop, and then it's like.
It's kind of like a sci-fi noir. Like, it's kind of like it's got like that.
Yeah.
Romantic quality to it that we've been referring to, but I don't know. It's like it's got a charm to it that, like Dave said, it's timeless. I think that's why people revere it. I like it. It's a good episode. It's a good watch. It's one of the best original series episodes.
I'm not saying it's a terrible episode.
I mean, original series does this a lot, where they go back in time, where they go back to
Well,
like
this was
40s.
a reused set. We didn't have a lot of money, so we're going to reuse.
It really makes you think what would have. But it really makes you think what would have happened if Hitler had gotten the A-bomb first. What would have happened to the world if Hitler would have gotten the A-bomb first?
Federation,
right? He was trying to get it, but he was just a little bit behind.
Yeah,
so it makes you think about that.
Well, and that's all dandy and fine.
Like kind of how the mirror universe. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. There is a delay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're massively delayed. Everybody else is fine.
It's
just you two.
It's not us.
It's a delay.
So.
Yeah. A couple women have said that to me too. It's not you. It's me.
George Costanza. It's not me. It's you.
Yeah, exactly. What I was saying is, it's not like it's a terrible episode. It's a good episode. It's just, it's not Star Trek to me. It's like a love story, and then they threw some Star Trek afterwards. You know what I mean? Like it's to me, like I watch Star Trek to get away from this world, to see new worlds, not to see 40s or 30s.
Right. But the original series did this a lot.
Oh, tons of times. Yeah.
Actually, I think it's one of my favorite episodes of those ones.
Yeah. Your dad loves any episode where they go back in
those
time.
days, Jody. That's all we had.
Oh, no, that's not true, because there's episodes before and after this that were more sci-fi.
But this was actually used, or a version of this was used in Next Generation too.
That's Lost in Space.
You either got you got two things on the original series. You got the 40s, like back in time, like they go back in time, or it's da 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 on an alien planet somewhere. Like that's really the majority of the original series episodes.
At least the first season, for sure. Yeah,
this is one of the good ones where they went back in time.
Yeah, and again, I'm not shitting on the episode, guys. Don't get me wrong here. It's a good episode. It's just not. It's not for me. It's not an episode that I enjoy to watch. Like the first 10 minutes of the episode was good, and then it turned into Joan Collins.
You don't like it until McCoy shows back up?
Basically, every time McCoy's on screen, it's gold. That's really the way I feel it.
You had Spock.
Jody, you don't have to kill a Klingon every week.
When Karen, what were you saying?
We had Spock in that room creating all of that stuff too, like
the stuff that blew up.
The stuff that blew up, trying to work on getting them back.
Yes, the
30 hours of work gone.
Stone knives and bear claws, I believe he refers to it as.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we're pretty much at the point in the episode where they go back in time. They're in the Depression, right? And this whole thing of like, I guess they were probably making a lot of movies around the Depression at this time. It probably wasn't that hard for them to.
Oh, I'm sure the sets were just sitting there.
There. So they're like, okay, we'll write this, and it works. Oh, hello.
We see another person.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hey. I wasn't invited over there for free food. What's going on?
And okay, and just at that whole point, there's a couple cringeworthy moments in this episode, I'd say. And
there's plenty.
The big one for me is when they're trying to explain it, like they're after they get back in time, they're trying to they steal some clothes, and then they're trying to make up an excuse to the cop, and he's like, "My friend's Chinese" or something.
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
He got his ears cut in a rice picker.
Yeah, he got his ears cut in a rice picker or something. It's like,
Did you like that when he said he got?
Wow.
No, I didn't like it.
No.
And Spock was sarcastic. Like you don't often hear Spock being sarcastic to Jim.
True.
That's true. That's true.
I think it happened a lot more than we realize, but it didn't happen often. No,
this was one of the bad ones and whatever. And then they're they get away by neck pinch on the cop. So they go,
yes.
Oh, your wife would be very upset with your dusty uniform. Let me get that for you. And they get him.
Yeah, that pinch comes out at least once an episode.
And then he meets, and then they run off, and they end up in the basement of the mission.
Yes,
which is where they meet Edith Keeler.
Yeah, and she instantly is like, "You want a job?"
Well, no,
Like you just found two random strangers in your goddamn basement, and the first thing you think of is, do you want a job? Like, come on.
Well, the first thing he does is
she's got a kind heart.
He makes up a story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got a kind
Yeah,
heart.
a lot of good that does her.
Karen would do it.
I think she really had a fancy eye for Kirk. See?
Well, and
Kirk
like even
was
later
one of
on,
the
like McCoy comes in, he looks like absolute hell. He basically looks like a pimple gone bad. And he kind of like falls over on her after he tries to get a coffee from her. And then the first thing she's like is, I got a cot in the back. Why don't you go hang out there? It's like, what? Like the guy's like the walking plague. Like this makes no sense.
But you might notice there is that he lies to her first. He makes up some story and she doesn't believe him.
Yes.
And then after that, he never lies to her again.
Yes. That's
throughout
true.
the episode.
Yeah.
He even tells her about the future. He tells her about space and planets.
I'm just glad that we got a female lead in a Star Trek episode that doesn't act like a goddamn idiot.
Right.
Like she's actually like a smart, intelligent woman.
She kind of is too trusting, maybe.
Well, she's obviously too trusting, but it's past that. Like she's not a complete idiot. Like this is just, oh, we got Jeff coming in now. Oh, he's on a separate line. I don't think we can get him on video though.
I can just I can put him on audio only.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Only and then bring that back. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Technology.
So we can out hear you, Jeff, but we can't see you.
You know what else was great about that? When Kirk and Spock had their meal and they sit down with their little ration, and the guy next to Kirk goes, "Oh God, she's gonna talk." I gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good actually. I enjoyed that. He's like, oh, she's gonna do it again. Yeah. No, that was a good little point. I like that. They clearly have heard her message over and over again, and they're just there for the soup.
But it was just a message of hope. It was just a message of hope she was giving. That happens to be the whole thing of the Star Trek, what happens in the world.
It was good. It was very good.
Very good.
Like her message is like, maybe one day they'll take all that money they spend on war and they'll spend it on life, right? And Spock says she is right. She was right. Her philosophy was right, but at the wrong time.
That was her goal.
Yeah.
I wonder when the Americans are going to start doing that.
Oh, I don't know.
Not right now, but anyway, that's another story.
McCoy saved her. Because McCoy saved her, the Americans went on a pacifism movement and did not look to get in the war, and so they became very pacifist, the whole country, and that's what happened. And then the Germans got the A-bomb.
Yeah.
Edith Keeler.
This USS Enterprise.
Edith Keeler must die. Edith Keeler must die.
Edith Keeler must die because she was right
times
at
was
the
that
wrong
said in the
time. But somehow, you kind of like get the sense of like, I guess she's a pretty amazing social worker, person who helps people. Like, we see in this episode, she helps everybody she meets, but also that she would have risen to like this prolific role within 6 years and been an influence on FDR. I guess
this lady trusts everybody. She'd be dead in a week.
Yeah.
Like I don't get this. Like,
you guys,
how is this impossible?
At that time, your milk was delivered outside your door and just left there for anyone to do anything to before you brought it in the house to drink it.
As we saw what that guy did, right?
Yes.
He took the milk before he vaporized himself.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that was a very trusting time.
This was the 30s, right?
Yeah.
Like 1930.
Well, there was a ton of serial killers in the 30s, especially in the States.
Yeah.
So it's like,
depression.
I'm still not going to buy that. But anyway, that's fine. And I understand,
York, right?
Yeah, it's a different. Oh yeah, this is New York. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because they show the Brooklyn Bridge and all that
City.
later on. Yep.
So the question is how did Kirk see the stars up on the sky in New York? You can't see dick in New York when you look at the sky.
Well, in the 30s,
bright,
there wasn't as much pollution.
Maybe it wasn't back then.
Yeah. What were you saying, Karen?
Well, I was just going to ask Jody because
I guess so, and not as much light either.
Are you Karen, Ted?
As a child.
Sorry, I didn't hear you again, Karen. Sorry.
Really? I was just saying that because you're so pessimistic and bad attitude. Were you traumatized as a child?
Not that I'm aware. I have a different outlook in life, I guess. Maybe yes. I've trusted too many times. Maybe that's it. Yeah, this is actually a therapy session. This is actually what do they call that? Intervention.
Yeah.
Intervention on this episode.
Dave originally just set up the podcast for an intervention for me.
Yes.
That's all it was.
Come on, Jody, things are good.
Yeah, things are fine. Just watch Star Trek.
Lie
It's
down
good.
on the couch, Jody. Well, we got to go through this.
Yeah, like I honestly, like everything about this episode works for me, even though it really shouldn't in some ways. But
yeah, I'm bored with the episode. I was bored through the whole thing, but it's still. I can understand why people like it.
For me,
I can
it feels
understand
like
why
a
they
movie.
love the episode.
This episode feels like almost.
I love the episode.
Yeah,
I've never read one of those Harlequin romance novels, but I'm willing to bet that's what this is.
You're out to lunch, Jody.
I'm always out to lunch, Ted.
Why is it always
Karen
Kirk and
agrees
Spock
with
together?
me. Adam agrees with me. Dave agrees.
Yeah.
You're out to lunch, Jody.
Well, Jeff just said, "Why is it always
at
like
your
Kirk and
side.
Spock together?"
He
And it's
always
like,
did.
yeah, that's true.
Why can't they have a Kirk and McCoy together episode, or
That would be
Kirk
great.
and Scotty, or Scotty and McCoy, or it's always Kirk and Spock because they knew they knew they were the main characters, the best actors probably on the show too. You know, different
the
time.
two
But
leads of the show. Yeah, this is first season too, right? So McCoy's not like a member like of the bill of like the title build.
He's not even title billed right now.
Not for 2 more years.
He's just one of those add-on characters at the end.
Right, like he has a bit more prominence than like Scotty does, but like he's not at that level yet. But
I think if you count the amount of words, though, probably Scotty has more dialogue in this
That
episode.
was the first time I've seen Aurora. Aurora was on the crew that went down to the planet. She doesn't usually do that.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Aurora went to the planet.
Uhura?
You mean Uhura?
I thought you were a fan of this show.
Yeah,
Stop calling her a whore. She's not a whore.
Uhura. Yeah, I
Uhura.
never can get her name right.
her name is Nyota.
Nyota is her first name,
Not everyone's on a first name.
Aurora.
but she wasn't named that until the Kelvin timeline. So
Well,
Anyway, she went to the planet and wearing a
Oh,
red
that's true,
uniform.
And that
She was on security detail,
that uniform is terribly
and she
short.
was frightened.
I like it. I don't know.
I am not against it.
Yes, but she was frightened. She was frightened. Karen. Did you notice
I
that?
am against season 1 of Next Gen though. When
That's
they showed the
right.
guys in the dresses, that isn't cool.
Well, they just found out their entire existence had been erased. I would be frightened.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying.
It's bad that they give her the line to say it in that way. But,
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah, but can you
They're only
imagine
gone-
that feeling? You're on
But
the
then
planet.
Kirk and Spock for the whole episode, they were only gone for like a few
It
seconds.
does nothing but interrupt.
The delay up there is bad.
Yeah,
Real bad.
it is. It is bad. Yeah.
well, so maybe you should go down with Jeff.
I can't.
It would. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's hard to get like even talk on that.
It's hard to
level.
talk to you
Yeah.
now because
Yeah.
you're like
No chair.
you're not in sync with us.
What were you going to say, Adam?
Oh, I
Why
was
is
gonna
that?
say,
Can we just mute him?
You're on timeout.
Poor-
Okay.
You're on a
Adam,
timeout,
what were you
Ted.
saying?
what I was saying is that you're on the planet, and all of a sudden you're trying to talk to the Enterprise. They're not there, and you realize, what if we can't get this to work? We are screwed forever. Like we're gonna sit here on this planet.
Yeah.
Is there food? I don't know. Yeah, you reach through the portal, grab an apple, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
It would be very tough, very scary. You know, just
Yeah.
that. I felt scared for them at that point. You know.
Really?
Well, yeah, like there's there's all 6 people left in all of humanity, and 2 of them don't even have names. They're just red shirts, no name guys.
That's true.
Security guards.
Like, imagine trying to reappropriate the race. That would be hard.
No sign of
No.
a bathroom anyway.
Uhura was justified in her fright, her
Yeah.
fear.
Yeah.
She's got to live on this planet now with these 5 guys.
No,
She
I
didn't
know.
pick- she's got no bathrooms, no food. Oh yeah, and the Federation's gone.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and
But-
everybody
but-
you ever known.
you could choose something interesting through history.
They have to repopulate. I know what she was frightened was. She has to repopulate the planet.
Well, we don't know the history of those red shirt guys. Like,
but the orders that Kirk leaves is that if we fail, then all of you are going to have to try to do it. Go back and So because I was like, why don't they send the whole group back?
Ever noticed Kirk always does that though? Kirk's like, if I fail, you guys are gonna have to figure out your own shit.
But I'm definitely not going to fail.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna fail. Like that's usually what he says. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know if that's supposed to be enlightening or not, but all right. I don't know if I was his crewmates, I'd be like, fuck Kirk. Like the guy takes off all the time. He says he's gonna fix shit. Sometimes he screws it up more.
Like I said, he had a bad day.
He's having a really bad day though. Like in the grand scheme of things, that's a pretty shitty day he's having.
Yeah.
To fall in love with Joan Collins.
Yeah.
Every time she talks.
Have we forgotten Joan Collins from Dynasty? Who wants that bitch? Yeah. Let's be honest.
I have a question about Joan Collins, and more specifically, Joan Collins' performance in this episode.
It was good.
Is that a British accent?
No, that's her normal accent, I think. She is British.
But is her character British?
No. But Joan Collins has never
British.
Changed her voice.
Yeah.
Edith Keeler is British?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we got that deep into it in a 50-minute episode.
Because I'm listening to this,
descent, but I think she was an American.
I'm listening to her accent, and I'm going, is that British or American? I can't tell.
That's Joan Collins. That's what that is.
All right.
She's trying to do an American accent and failing. That's the
is that what she's trying to do?
Like kind of succeeding, but not quite.
She still has that breathy British way of speaking.
Yeah.
Where she just can't do it.
Go ahead, Adam.
So this episode, coming back to Next Generation, there's that, and I never saw the link before, and it just came to me again. Is that gate or the portal that I can't remember the episode so well. They went. You can see.
Are you talking the one
Toronto
where they
City
go
Hall.
back and they meet? They meet what's his name? The inventor. Mark. Remember? Mark Twain. That's it. Yeah.
No, not.
Are you talking about that one?
No, that was another gate.
Oh, which episode are you talking about then?
Just give me a minute. I'm going to find it because it was almost the same. It reminded me so much of that episode because there was like flashing places, and one of the locations was Toronto City.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the episode. It's called I think it's the Neutral Zone, where they discover the Iconian Gateway.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember that episode.
It's like season 1. It's the one. It's like remember how there's a door and it keeps flashing to all these different places.
Gateway.
One of them is Toronto City
Hall. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that now. Yep.
Yeah, you're like you can go to all these planets, even Toronto City Hall.
Yeah, even Toronto. Yeah.
But it's the same principle here. But aside from the great voice that you just did there.
Yeah, well, except that didn't go through time. That would just let you to go anywhere.
Did that voice, Dave?
Yeah, it was James Doohan who does that. But James Doohan, one of the great voice actors of his generation, and not Scottish. A lot of people think James Doohan is actually Scottish, but he's not.
He is not.
He's Canadian, of Irish descent. But
no,
he's from
BC.
BC, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he's from British Columbia.
Yeah.
He fought in Juno Beach.
Yeah.
By the way, Adam,
Was
we're going to
he
give you
the guy
extra
who was
credit for your shirt.
in that episode.
I just noticed it.
Not on purpose.
Yeah, that's an awesome shirt. I got to get one.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, but this is prettier.
Karen's sexy.
Karen, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just merely stating that he's come in a theme.
No, I like that shirt. It's a nice one. But you also look very nice.
I believe
Karen, you're more than welcome to wear a Starfleet outfit if you want.
Bride's dress.
It's not quite Romulan, I would say.
No.
We'll have to
I think that's a Romulan bride's dress.
Square shoulders.
I think your ass is doing a lot of talking.
Yeah, you need those big pointy shoulders to be a Romulan. Okay. So we kind of talked when McCoy does show back up though, because we kind of talked a lot about the Kirk and Edith Keeler stuff. But when
every so often the episode gets good again,
when he shows
and that's
up
when
and
McCoy shows up.
We talked about the guy who was taking the milk and he vaporized himself, but eventually McCoy sort of recovers.
He really took that milk hard, eh? Like, you're not really supposed to cry over spilt milk.
Yeah.
And he phased himself. Like, he killed himself. Like, it's bad.
I just like he's like, stop! I won't kill you.
That must have been some delicious
They're
milk.
the ones who kill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got all those spots on his face.
Assassin.
Yeah, he's got. It looks like somebody just literally like put like a colander in front of his face and then threw makeup at him. Like that's literally what it looks like. It's,
You know what he looked like? It looked
honestly, whoever did the makeup in this damn episode should be fired. It is brutal.
they looked like they used extra Miri makeup. Remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's all the makeup back on the original series was
They're like, make him look bruised.
weird in some ways,
Kind of.
greasy, but yeah, it's just something out there. But there's that whole moment later on. I guess it's the next morning where he wants the coffee, and Edith Keeler, he's like, "Oh, miss, that coffee smells good."
That was the convenience factor when
and
he
they
literally
just-
walks into the
They
same place.
just miss Spock.
I know.
Well, and then Spock shows up like right after she's like, "Hey, go hang out in my cot in the back there," and then all of a sudden you see Spock and he's pouring coffee. It's like,
Yeah,
all right.
so it's kind of that's
like,
a little-
why is Spock pouring coffee?
Yeah,
He should be building that fucking machine thing that he's
That's
building.
That's how he earns money to pay for his machine.
Oh, I see. All right, yeah, that's true.
I don't know what that machine. Somehow that machine is a computer.
He had to get
I
money
guess,
to pay.
Well, you
Pay for
gotta.
all those tubes.
If you're making a computer in the 30s, it's gonna look like that.
I guess,
It's-
yeah.
it's-
but I don't
a
know
lot
how
of-
that's going to help you run your tricorder. But
I'm not certain either. But anyway,
but yeah, he's Spock. He can do anything. He's got the
he is
science.
Spock.
He figured it out.
And yeah,
Although, did you see when the Guardian
you tell
at
me
the edge of the where you jump?
What is
Remember
wrong with Peter?
Ted, you really need to turn off all those porn downloads you're doing on your network. It's really affecting your streaming quality.
It's not the network. It's his computer.
Oh, is it?
Maybe.
Okay. You can't hear what you're saying. It's like,
I can't understand you. It's only ever.
and I know he's got something to say. Just can't hear him. Now he's like a freeze frame. I don't even know what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna take him.
Why is it?
Oh,
Okay, well,
it's like Ted Mater
why don't we
roulette.
bring in Jeff for now?
There's
Hey,
Jeff.
How's it going?
There's Jeff.
What's going on?
We've moved to the younger generation.
Yeah, next generation. All right, let's go.
He's made her the next generation.
I got some fun facts if you guys want some fun
Oh,
facts.
Hey,
fun facts with Jeff.
Facts.
See, you missed this, Karen. This is something we normally do when Jeff's on, but Jeff was too busy to be on with us last episode. So
Okay, so this was the most expensive episode of the original series to be made, except for the pilots, which the pilots don't really count. So
it's probably Joan Collins' salary.
Yeah, it costed $245,000 at the time.
Wow.
At the time, so I'm guessing that was
Wow.
quite a bit at the time, but it's probably like $1 million at the time.
That's a couple of million nowadays. Yeah.
The amount of people that say that this is their favorite episode is high. It's William Shatner said, Gene Roddenberry's son said it was his favorite episode.
Well, it's going to be Shatner's favorite for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Like, come on.
you're not wrong.
It's either Green Women or Joan Collins. Like, come on.
Okay, so there's a bunch of things about this episode that are pretty interesting, actually. It's well, one is first appearance of Spock's body hair. I mean,
That's true. That's a landmark on television right there.
they bring that back. That reprise.
That brother needed a weed whacker, for Christ's sakes. It was bad.
Okay, so to emphasize on the extremely high age of the Guardian in the upper millions or went into the billions, the star field of its planet is surrounded by red dwarfs and red giants. So that kind of starts the episode.
I did not notice this.
When William Shatner and Joan Collins are walking together on the street, they pass in front of a shop with the name Floyd Barber Shop, clearly painted on the window. This is the same Floyd's Barber Shop, which is often seen on the Andy Griffith Show. So I guess they shot this where they shot the Andy Griffith Show.
No.
Am I now Ted Mater?
We got Ted now,
But I did.
but now he's Jeff. All right, we're back to Jeff now.
Okay,
You're
so
only on audio, Ted.
We keep coming back and forth.
Roddenberry apparently denied Harlan Ellison's pseudonym request because he knew everyone in the science fiction community was aware that the Cord Wainer bird credit was Ellison's way of signaling his dissatisfaction with the way production peoples were treated the way he wrote it. It would have meant that Star Trek was no different than all the other science fiction shows in mistreating quality writers, and could have resulted in prose science fiction writers avoiding contributing to the program. So I guess there was a thing back then where science fiction writers were kind of looked down upon in the 60s. And Harlan Ellison kind of wanted to change that, and Gene Roddenberry kind of shut him down.
Well, the one thing I've learned about all the Star Trek that I've been partaking in recently is Gene Roddenberry's a dick. Like that, yeah, he was a good creator, but he was a dick.
He was kind of a dick, yeah. And he was
Yeah,
an organizer,
especially in production values. Yeah.
Yeah, the 50th anniversary Star Trek convention in August 2016, so only 4 years ago, the fans voted this the best episode of all of Star Trek.
Oh, they're wrong.
Trek?
All of
They're
Star
wrong.
Trek. It got voted the best episode. I agree with you, Jody. They're wrong.
Cause and Effect, much better episode.
Or In the Pale Moonlight, I think, is the best episode.
But
Also a
are
better
most
episode.
of the fans, or the majority of fans, women or men?
Men.
Who are they?
Probably men, but I mean, probably,
Wow, she just got shut down hard on that one, eh? Karen's like, I got a point here. Oh,
it's probably equaled out a lot more recently because I mean, a lot of people are very attracted to like the Kirk and the Picard, like a lot of women are. So
yeah.
The original series is definitely way more geared though toward men because every episode has like a sexy female for the most part.
Yeah.
So this episode has one, Joan Collins, but yeah.
Sorry, So I'm trying to figure out how to. There we go.
Oh, okay, we're back.
Wow,
now,
I couldn't
kind of.
figure out how to get us back in screen.
We don't have Dave anymore, but that's
It's okay.
fine.
You don't need me.
That's fine.
Okay, so yeah, Nimoy characterized the episode as a high watermark, calling it good
We lost
tragedy.
you, Dave.
We lost you, Adam.
It's okay.
Oh,
That's
right.
not
Yeah,
good.
you're right.
Yeah, like the
Did we have the wrong logo?
It was just covering his face.
Oh, okay.
Spock refers to the technology of the time as stone knives and bearskins. The same phrase would later be used by Captain Janeway in an episode of Voyager called Future's End. So they pulled from a lot of different things from this episode. It's obviously highly revered.
Yes, it is.
TV Guide ranked this episode number 80 in their top 100 episodes of all time. So I mean, like this episode really got a lot of praise.
Oh yeah.
Whether or not it's deserved, I mean, Jody doesn't think so, but I mean, a lot of
Okay, just to clarify,
I
I don't think it's a terrible episode. I was bored. All right. I was bored watching this episode. The only time I wasn't bored was when I got to see McCoy running around yelling out crazy shit. But it's not a terrible episode.
Speaking of McCoy, Edith Keeler tells McCoy his blue uniform hardly looks like it's from the United States Navy, which is ironic because DeForest Kelly filmed naval training videos in real life.
Yes, he did.
Did
Yeah.
he wear a Star Trek uniform?
I actually saw them on YouTube.
But I bet you wore blue.
Fight to get in.
The first Star Trek episode to be released in photo novelle format. They used old Paramount special effects to do the time portal. So I guess they saved money too. Like as much as this episode costed all the money, they were definitely reusing sets and things as well. So I mean, I think you're right. Joan Collins.
The
probably spent
portal
$100,000
is,
on it.
let's be honest though, that portal looked really cool for the time.
Mhm.
Like that was top
It
notch.
has
Like
this iconic-
even now it looks pretty decent. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
it's clearly not as good as we could do now, but it's it looks fantastic for its time.
Right. So just one other thing, because the character's name of Edith Keeler, the Alan Asherman suggests that it is derived from the keel of a ship. So that's kind of where they took that from, the longitude element of a vessel that keeps it together. So that's kind of why her name is Keeler.
Well, that's kind of neat.
There's like little things like that
She's
really go to show like what they did with this episode and like how they brought it back to the actual Star Trek, because like Jody's right, this is not a very Star Trek episode,
No.
other than the beginning and the end, but it's hilarious every time McCoy is on for me.
No, it's gold. It's gold.
That scene with him and the milkman is gold. I mean, they're rubbing
What
up on
planet
each other.
am I on?
I love how they're just like rubbing each other. Like who was the director that day? Like what was going on in that scene? But I don't know.
Something about Shatner and Joan Collins have this chemistry together. It's undeniable.
Yeah, there definitely was a chemistry there for sure.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Karen?
I really liked it.
I
really
love with her.
They only had like 50 minutes to get them in love, right? Like it's only a short episode, so they have to go from
strangers
developing a relationship that we believe that Jim likes her, that Jim is in love with her. So I think they did a really good job of that while they're standing outside the door and he's walking her home that night.
And the kiss on the stairs.
And the kiss on the stairs. And did you hear when he told Spock, he says Edith Keeler must die, and he says, but I'm in love with Karen Rondeau. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
You know what? I was honestly, Karen, I was watching the Netflix one, and I know that they've done some improvements to it. Maybe they cut that out. I don't know. But I believe it. I'm sure that was the original script.
You say
it was
a Star Trek episode. It wasn't traditional, but it was pretty early on too. Maybe they were just trying to find their way and thought, "Oh God, we're not doing that again."
Oh yeah. I'm not crucifying the episode. It is still, in my opinion, out of the 3 seasons, it's still one of the better episodes. Don't get me wrong. It's just there's not enough action in it for me. I like my Star Trek with some action, and we got some, but there was a lot of downtime, I guess is a good way to say this episode. There was a lot of very slow moving plot elements and a little too much love going on. But I always my Kirk is the horror Kirk, the one that just kind of shows up, does some shit, and leaves. Like that's the Kirk I like, not the one who he starts caring about shit. It's like that's not the Kirk I'm down with.
Cowboy Kirk.
I like Cowboy Kirk. I don't like nice guy Kirk.
But he's a Starfleet officer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you guys find it strange the way they shot Joan Collins in this episode?
Yeah.
Like the way they lit her?
It was very soap opera-y.
But only her. The lighting is shot from above on her.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the other characters, they're not lit that way. And
every woman in that show.
Yeah.
They do that with a lot
and
of
the
women,
music. Yeah. Every time she was on camera, the music would be
contract.
Oh, the score in this episode, whenever she's on screen, is brutal.
It's like the strings come in.
Oh, it's brutal. It's like listening to a 6th grade choir. It's like, you know what? It just didn't fit.
It's like this, it's are you in love yet?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you should be in love. You should be in love. That's basically what this music was doing. It's like ding ding ding, you're in love now. It's like, I don't know. I honestly, I rather listen to my daughter try to play clarinet.
She was probably from Peyton Place. She probably did Peyton.
Yes. Okay, guys. Sorry, I know I'm not on
She
screen.
probably did Peyton Place in the afternoon that year. And then
I'm bumping Jeff temporarily here, and I'm bringing myself back.
Wrong choice. Jeff's gone. Jeff's gone now. You've been voted off the island.
Yeah. I think we've said a lot about this episode.
Yes.
I think that the only thing, I think the whole moral dilemma that Kirk is poised with,
which is cool.
It's just cool, and you feel for him. But you know that he has to do it. That's his whole mission.
Yeah.
But it's still hard for him, and he still has this connection, and there's still loss and pain that comes from it. So
But then she's never mentioned again, ever.
No, but none of them are.
No. I would have liked to see some follow up, like Kirk doing a little bit of grieving in the next episode. That would have been kind of cool. But
but like you said,
didn't really do that then.
He goes and he does some shit. He moves on.
Yeah, and then he goes and finds a green girl somewhere and moves on. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
anybody surprised they didn't blow this up?
Women.
All right. Say that again, madam. I didn't hear it.
Was anybody surprised that they just left the portal there? To your point earlier about ready for Klingons to take over. I mean, they just left it. That was very un-Star Trek-like.
Well, yeah, because the Guardian says to him at the end, many journeys are possible.
Yes.
Kirk's like, whatever, I was having a bad day already, and then I fell in love with this woman, and I had to let her die.
But Adam, let's be honest here. If you watch pretty much almost any of the episodes in season 1, it's a shit show. Like, these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. They never have.
The second season is definitely stronger.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the second season they kind of get into the whole, well, maybe we shouldn't let this stuff get into the enemy hands and stuff like that. Where it's always like really stupid endings. I don't know.
Well,
season 1's always been kind of brutal.
They're meant to just be. It's meant to be like a non-serialized.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Sci-fi adventure. So it's. Yeah. Okay. Now this is the part of the show where we give a rating out of 10, and I'm gonna get that up here on screen so we can all have a look at that. All right. So. Take me.
Is it up? I don't see it.
It's coming.
Come on. Get in the game, Mater. There we go.
No, it's coming.
Oh wow! At least he made it bigger
coming.
finally. I can actually read it.
All right. So on the Internet Movie Database, this is one of the websites we use to confirm sort of, I guess, how the audience feels about these episodes. This has a 9.3. As Jeff mentioned, this is a very beloved episode of just television in general.
Yes.
But that doesn't have to affect our opinions. Adam, I will create here a column for you so you can also vote. But we'll have to get your other ratings later. Okay. And Adam. Okay. Adam, do you want to give this one your rating first for this one?
I have to say, after listening to Jody, I'm going to pull down a little bit. I'm coming down to 8.
I like it when people agree with me, Adam. I'm just letting you know now.
And Karen, do you have a score?
Yes, I do. I have a 9.8 score. And also, I'd like to say very quickly that on Netflix rated this Sex and Fear.
Yes, I did notice that, actually. I was surprised. When I started playing it, I'm like, this is rated so-and-so, and it says for Sex and Fear. I'm like, I didn't get either one of those.
Yeah.
Fear maybe from...
Ahura did.
Yeah, she
had some fear.
She was frightened.
Yeah.
Dad, you got a score?
Eventually.
Oh, we'll go through the wires, the internet wires.
Who?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Ted.
Are
What's
you
your
looking
score,
for me?
Ted?
Yeah, you.
9.82.
What?
I think he's...
Same as Karen.
9.82.
Okay.
Okay.
9.8 is good.
Yeah.
9.8.
I'll give it a 9. It's a good 9 for me.
Jody?
I'm gonna go with Adam here. I was thinking 8 to begin with, so I'm gonna go with 8 as well.
8. I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. Just because of that whole rice picker thing. So.
It would have been a 10 if it didn't have the rice picker, or it would have been an 8, and then you liked that comment.
No, I didn't like it.
See, now we're getting controversial.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I should take more points off for it. Okay, that gives it a rating of 8.9. So as far as this podcast goes, this has easily been the best episode we've watched so far.
But keep in mind, we've watched Mud's Women, and we've watched The Way to Eden.
Yeah, we haven't watched all the episodes, only these ones you see on screen.
Yes.
And so, Dad, what's the episode we're going to watch next?
Yeah. Well, the next episode is going to be the introduction of the Klingons to Star Trek, the first Klingon episode. And it will be The Errand of Mercy.
The Errand of Mercy. Okay.
You should probably put people back on, because right now we're just all watching.
Very first time a Klingon was...
There we go.
Yeah.
What one would you like to see, Adam?
I think we should let Adam queue up the one after.
Sure.
If Adam wants to return.
Oh, I've got one.
Please tell me.
Plato's
Please tell me.
Stepchildren.
I know this one. All right. That'll be interesting.
What's what? What do you call it?
Plato's Stepchildren.
I don't even think I know that one.
No, you know that one. Trust me.
All right.
Yeah, look it up. You'll know it in a heartbeat.
All right. I'll take that into consideration. Okay. Well, does anyone else want to say anything else about the episode then?
Yeah, just one quick about Adam's point about the portal and them not closing it. If you want to go watch a follow-up to the portal, Adam, you can watch an episode of the animated series called Yesteryear, where they deal with this portal again. So maybe they'll answer on Netflix. So maybe they'll answer your question.
I didn't know that.
I that's the only part I haven't watched actually.
Yeah, I've never watched it either.
You're not missing much.
They got the one really good episode that I've seen, but that's it.
Well, the new movies borrowed from that. A couple things. Yeah.
Things and everything. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for everybody for being on. I know I couldn't fit you all on screen at once, but we appreciate the enthusiasm, the love for the original series. We're going to be back next week to talk about which one was it? I forget already.
You're the best host ever.
The host that loves the most.
Errand of Mercy.
Errand of Mercy. Klingons. We're going to the Klingons, which is
First
great.
appearance of the Klingons.
First appearance
Errand of Mercy.
Errand
Klingons,
of Mercy.
which happen to be there's
I
more.
did it for Jody. He likes the Klingons.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but all right.
You know,
Jody doesn't like anything
look like
too much.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, don't say Jody loves anything.
Yeah, never say I love anything. Like I love my wife, I love my kids. That's about it. Well, I love my dog too. I love Dave Mater. I love Jeff Mater. I'm okay with Ted Mater. But yeah. I'm just being facetious.
Sorry, guys. I just wanted to plug our next episode of Star Trek Radio Theater.
Oh, here we go.
Where is it?
Do you got the poster?
I do have it here.
And we have to get Karen Rondeau on an episode of Star Trek Radio Theater, but she has to do Waxana Troy.
Yes, for sure. That's a good idea. I wholeheartedly agree with this.
Can you handle that, Karen?
Is that the one where you become voices?
Yeah. We read the script.
So if you can see that there, this is our next episode of Star Trek Radio Theater, which will be coming to you live here on Live Long and Podcast on Saturday morning. We are recreating an episode of Deep Space Nine, which is a homage to an original series episode, The Trouble with Tribbles.
This is the crossover episode.
This is the crossover episode where the Deep Space Nine crew goes back in time and meets Kirk and the gang.
And they actually have the clips from the original show in it, and they interact with them. It's actually a really great episode.
Yeah,
how they did it
for 1996. It was really stunning, and for what they did it for. So check that out there. You can see everybody. Myself, Jeff, and Jody are all part of that production, along with Ashley and Jane.
I even have an "and" credit.
You have, you're and.
I'm the "and" credit.
Playing Chekhov, Montgomery Scott, and Cyrano Jones.
Yes, Captain.
Yeah, so so check that out on Saturday.
It should say and a special guest star.
Well, I wanted that, but it never happened.
Yeah.
Well, I feel that every time I'm on anything, I should be a special guest star. But they kiboshed that. Apparently, something about ego, blah blah blah. You never listen, blah blah blah.
We got a cat. A cat has joined the broadcast.
Yes, and okay, and I know we're all wrapping up here on the hour, so let's say good night. But yeah, check us out next week. Tuesday we do Deep Space Nine rewatches. Thursday's original series. We've done all the movies. We finished the movies, so go check all those out.
Thank God.
And Trivial Debates is our other channel. So, all right.
Plug.
No, I'm done.
All right.
All right.
Dave, can you send me the link for YouTube for tonight's episode?
Yeah.
Dave?
Sure.
Can you send me the link for the YouTube for tonight's episode? Because
we're still live, Ted.
Because Tracy wants to watch it.
This one? Okay, sure, no problem.
She's golfing.
Anyway,
that's why she couldn't.
Thank you, Karen and Adam, for being on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you having you.
Right.
And Ted as well, I guess.
Yes, thank you guys.
And Jeff, thank you for the assist on the fun facts and everything.
Yeah, no problem.
Always good with fun facts with Jeff.
You should be really happy with me, Jody. I gave you the Klingons next week.
I'm gonna,
Jody.
I'm just letting you know, if you happen to see a really fat guy jump your fence tonight, it's because I'm going in your pool. So don't call the cops. I might if I knew where you were, Karen and Adam, I might consider yours actually. Yours looks pretty good too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in the hot
Absolutely.
studio right now.
Well, you could do that one.
We should have a pool episode. Can we
I
do
don't
that?
think this is a pool party episode.
Can we-
This is a
can we do
Rise
that?
episode? I think that's the closest thing.
Well, no. What I'm saying is we just broadcast from the pool.
From the pool. Okay.
Yeah, we should be able to pull that
Podcasting
off.
from the pool. Like
Yeah, I can just float in the pool and talk.
Yes.
Anyway,
All right. We're coming up on exactly an hour. So good night, everybody, and we'll see you next week for an errand of mercy.
There you go.
Yeah.